All right, all right. Now, let me turn that down a little bit. Yeah, this is George Walker coming to you from KUAW Radio. And we are so glad that you're able to join us today at the BFTAA and More show. I am your host, Louis George Walker, and I'm going to be bringing you news, information, and a few things that are going on around the city and beyond that we're working with. So this is April the 1st, April Fool's Day. I don't know if anybody's played any jokes on you or not, but this is the first day of April. So the first quarter of the year is over with. We're 3 months in to 2024. Things are starting to fire up. There's a vote going on tomorrow, depending upon where you live, but you can vote on a lot of different things. Jackson County, Clay County, Wyandotte, Johnson. There's a lot of elections that will be happening or voting booths that will be open. And the big one, the big voting thing is going on right here in Kansas City and Jackson County as they vote for the Chiefs and Royals 3/8 cent sales tax. But we are glad that you're here with us. This is the BFTAA and More show, brought to you by the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. We've come together and formed this radio station, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, and we call it KUAW. So we're glad that you're listening to us right now. You can be picking us up on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. And let me get our Twitter broadcast going so that you can pick it up there, since I told you that it's there. Let me put that up right now, or X as they call it. Things are always changing. As more they change, the more they stay the same. Let's see, at KUAW Radio. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we are growing and becoming more and more a presence around the city and internationally. KUAW is being listened to by a lot of people in various countries. We're over in the Middle East, in Africa, in Europe, and Asia, and all across these United States. So as we look back on some of our demographics of where we're being listened to, most of our listeners, though, are right here in the Kansas City metro. And we're so glad and thankful that you guys are giving us a chance to come and talk with you. So this is the BFTAA and More show. We're going to be rocking and rolling. Listen to us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Yeah, that's where we are. Also, you can pick us up on our audio side where we broadcast audio only on Get Me Radio, on mytuner.com, on the online radio bot, on Radio Garden, and on TuneIn. So be sure and check us out on any of those, or you can go to our website, www.kuaw.org, and you can pick us up there. And you'll see the listing of all the other stations that we're on and that you're able to get our broadcast on. And if you've got a smart speaker or from Google or Amazon, tell your smart speaker to play KUAW. Say, Alexa, play KUAW, and you will get KUAW there. We're there. We're on Roku and on Fire Sticks and on, I believe, the Apple site, too. So if you just search KUAW on Google or Microsoft Edge or whatever you have as a browser, you'll see that you can listen to us in a myriad of different ways, and we hope that you will pick us up. We broadcast 24 hours a day. We have the latest in news. We have blues. We play smooth jazz and old school music. And we've got a lot of syndicated shows that come on here. So check us out. If you're a blues person, be sure and check us out on the weekend, because we've got some blues for you. And then smooth jazz we got. And we also have the Heavy Storm, Quiet Storm, which plays a lot of slow jams and R&B music that are on the weekends and on Tuesday night. So check out KUAW Radio for your listening pleasure. Listen to us in your car. If you have a Bluetooth speaker, all you got to do is bring it up on your phone, switch it into your Bluetooth, and you hear us driving all the way across the United States. So we're just glad that we're able to ride along with you. That's right. I was listening to the station this weekend myself as I was driving around town, just checking us out. And also, you can pick us up on the FM side. That's right. Yeah, you can pick us up right now. We're broadcasting from the historic Jazz District in Kansas City, Missouri, 100.5 KOJH, 100.5 on the FM dial. Please go to that site, listen to us as you're riding in your car. 100.5 KOJH. All right, all right. So we're going to get into a little bit of news for you today. Let you hear a little bit of the Urban News Network and things that are going on around the country. And let's see if we can pull that up for you. No, I got it. Here we go.
This is UNN Urban Network News. I'm Alexander Caden, and here's a few things happening in the news. In Diddy news, it seems he has an ironclad non-disclosure agreement his employees had to sign. You can read it for yourself. Just visit our webpage at myunn.net. And 50 Cent is doubling down on his plan to file for custody of the son he shares with Daphne Joy after she was accused of being a sex worker in a lawsuit connected to who else but Diddy. A U.S. appeals court denied a bid by Texas to begin enforcing a contentious law that would let state authorities detain those suspected of illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. The gang leader, who has become the face of whatever's left of Haiti, has said he would consider calling a ceasefire, but only if his consortium of armed gangs were included in international talks on the country's future. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is leading calls for action after a Mississippi police officer killed a 17-year-old black boy by driving over him in a police cruiser during an early morning chase. A jury found that an HBCU in Missouri discriminated against a white woman professor. Since Mark Robinson's primary election win made him the GOP nominee for governor in North Carolina, there's some concern about his rhetoric's impact on the state's economy, and more specifically, the state's black economy. For the first time in 27 years, the U.S. government is changing how it categorizes people by race and ethnicity, an effort that federal officials believe will more accurately count residents.
Do you own a timeshare? If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. Call our team right now.
800-897-1434. 800-897-1434. That's 800-897-1434.
You've been listening to UNN Urban Network News, and you can now watch the news on UITVN, Urban Internet TV News. Just visit our webpage at myunn.net and click to watch UITVN.
All right. So that's some of the news going on here. You heard that story about the HBCU in Missouri that discriminated against a white teacher. So I want to look that up. That I don't know for sure, but I know one HBCU that we have here is Lincoln University. There may be one in St. Louis or in the Boot Hill, I'm not sure, but I will do some checking on that to see if we can find out. Also, notice that P. Diddy has a lot going on, a lot of trouble with the law. You sometimes wonder why some of these people with fame and fortune still will want to walk on the wild side, but maybe they just can't help themselves. But I think that as this goes to court, or as more comes out, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on in this case against P. Diddy. He was just announcing that he has some non-disclosure agreements with his employees that they had to sign when they started. I wonder if those are stand up in court or if they can be broken. A lot of times, especially if somebody is hurt or if it's a minor involved, they may make allowances to break that. But we don't know. But there is a lot of smoke right now. We don't know if there's fire, but there's a lot of smoke around P. Diddy and his lifestyle and what all was going on. But, you know, you think that sometimes we think we can do more than maybe we can do, or we may be above the law, or sometimes just disregard it. And that's just not the case. We can't do that. Nobody's above the law. As I hope we find out with our former president, that he goes to court, goes to trial, whether he's found guilty or not guilty, he should be tried before his peers. There should be a trial, and there should be a answer in the courtroom of guilty or not guilty for even the former president, because no one in the United States is above the law. So we may delay justice, and sometimes justice delayed, as they say, is justice denied. But we still want to make sure that this comes to a just end, and that there is some legal answer to the charges that are going against him right now. So there's a lot of things going on. Another new thing in the news, and I didn't get a chance to look it up, but Kansas City's up-and-coming young wide receiver that made a name for himself as a rookie last year, Rashid Rice, is being I guess they have a warrant, or they're looking for him, the police in Dallas, due to a car wreck. There was a car accident between some racing cars. One was a Lamborghini. They didn't say who was driving what, but they said that the Lamborghini was registered or leased to Rashid Rice. So I tell you, for a young man just getting started with a future ahead of him, and you know, sometimes as young people we do things without thinking or looking at the consequences, and he may be able to survive this, but it definitely is going to hurt his reputation some. Now, if he'll be able to get past it, that'll be good. But and thank God nobody was killed in this racing and car accident. They said it was 6 cars involved. I'll look up and see if I can find some other information on this to bring to you today. But the wide receiver, rookie wide receiver, that was an outstanding addition to the Kansas City Chiefs in last year's season and in the Super Bowl, as it may be in a little bit of trouble. I heard on the news that he had retained a lawyer, but and was supposed to be given a statement at some time today. So I will check on YouTube and on Facebook to see if a statement has been given as of yet, and I will give it back to you before the show is over with if we get the opportunity to. But yes, there's a lot of things going on. I want you to mark your calendars for May the 11th. May the 11th, we will be having Remake Learning Days here at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center at 4110 Linwood Boulevard. We're really at 31st and Elmwood, 31st and Cypress. The former Milton Moore Elementary School. We're going to be having Remake Learning Days. The kids will be outside showing some of the things they have learned in robotics. We'll also be demonstrating drones and drone flying, and have some other technology things that you can look at. We'll have hot dogs and potato chips and some games. We want to have a fun time out. Remake Learning Days at 4110 East Linwood Boulevard, the former Milton Moore Elementary School. So we hope that you would check us out here. This Remake Learning Days is going to be going on all over the city, and we'll be doing it right here. We also want to say thank you to Hickman Mills Middle School, their 8th grade center, that had invited us out last month, or that was February now, and we had a great time with the kids there. We're going to be going to Kellybrook School later this month, going up to Kellybrook School and demonstrate and work with the kids up there on an evening. So if you go to Kellybrook, be sure and stop by. If your child goes to Kellybrook, stop by the BFTAA table and say hello to it. Yes, BFTAA, the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, which is the parent organization of KUAW Radio, is celebrating 20 years of working to close the digital divide in Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas, up north, out south, east, and west, anywhere that we can. We're trying to promote STEM, and that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we're just so glad that we've been able to work with a lot of the youth and families here in Kansas City over the years. So we're celebrating 20 years, and part of that celebration will be the Remake Learning Days that we're having in May. And then we're also going to be doing a big event in the fall after October or in October or November of this year for our 20th anniversary. We started in 2004. We became incorporated in 2005. So we're celebrating 20 years of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and we are glad that we've been able to be a part of this city. And I've met some fine young people and some adults, and it's just been a great run. It's been a big part of my life and my family's life. My sons, my daughter-in-laws, my grandkids, and now we even have great-grandkids that have come and been a part of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, nieces and nephews, and we've just been really growing and learning as these young people grow and as families grow. So I want you to be involved with what we've got going on. Check us out. If you were a member of Black Family Technology Awareness Association, or if you came through as a student, if you won an award, if you received a recognition from the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, or if you know someone who did, we want to get in touch with them. We want to talk to them. We want to hear from them. So anybody that you know that may have been involved with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association in the past, have them get in touch with us. Have them contact us on Facebook, on YouTube. They can call at 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893. We want to get in touch with you. We'd like to hear from you. If you want to email us at BFTAA at sbcglobal.net, or put something on the Facebook page, as one gentleman did that said he had came through. We'd like to get some testimonials. If you've helped out young people and kids, or if you were a young person who received some guidance or some help from the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, we'd love to hear from you. We've got a thing coming up in October, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. We're going to be ordering some T-shirts pretty soon, and if you want to order a 20-year commemorative T-shirt, we're going to have those online later on in this month or early May. So be sure and get in touch with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and let us know that you've been a part of this and that you want to see us continue to grow and continue to move things right here in Kansas City. All right. Now, you know that we're involved with STEM and science, technology, engineering, and math, and we're also always promoting NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and the research and what they do. Well, up in the sky, next week, in less than a week now, there's going to be a total eclipse. Now, in Kansas City, it'll only be a partial eclipse, but in southern Missouri, they're going to have a total eclipse. If you want to make a trip over there, a day trip or overnight trip, Indiana, parts of that will have it. And hopefully we'll be able to get a map up. I tried to get a map up last week and didn't get it. So I'm hoping with this month on NASA that we'll have a map that will come up and we'll show you. I haven't watched the episode myself yet, but we're going to be going to NASA right now to see some of the things that are going on. And we always started with this week at NASA, and then we move on up from that to Space to Ground and then to What's Up. All of these are NASA videos, NASA publications, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, part of the United States government, a big research and development arm of the United States government. So right now, let's go to this week at NASA.
A NASA astronaut is one of the space station's newest residents, planning for the upcoming total solar eclipse, and a notable award for an historic asteroid sample return mission. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On March 23rd, NASA astronaut Tracy C. Dyson and 2 crewmates launched to the International Space Station from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. 2 days later, they arrive safely to the station. Dyson will spend about 6 months aboard the orbiting outpost, conducting a host of science and educational activities as a flight engineer for the Expedition 70 and 71 crews. We hosted a media briefing on March 26th with other government agencies at our headquarters in Washington to discuss plans to engage the public, share safety information, and conduct science during the April 8, 2024 total solar eclipse. 15 states across the U.S. could experience up to 4.5 minutes of darkness during the eclipse when the moon moves fully in front of the sun. We will host live coverage of the eclipse starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time that day on NASA Plus, the agency's website, and the NASA app. NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission is being awarded the National Aeronautic Association's Robert J. Collier Trophy for being the first U.S. mission to collect a sample from an asteroid and deliver it to Earth for study. The NAA awards the trophy annually to recognize what it determines to be the year's greatest achievement in aerospace and astronautics in America. The OREX team will be celebrated at an awards dinner in June 2024. During the Artemis II mission next year, the astronaut crew will manually test drive the Orion spacecraft for the first time. They will command Orion through a series of moves during the so-called proximity operations demonstration to evaluate how the spacecraft flies with astronauts at the controls. The demonstration is a key flight test objective that helps us reduce risk for future missions that involve rendezvous and docking operations with other spacecraft. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more about what else we're up to, check out nasa.gov.
All right. Yeah, that's some of the things that are going on at NASA right now. And it's interesting that they're going to have this little trial flight of that OSIRIS space vehicle because, you know, even though robotics and AI and all that is really advanced, it still isn't as advanced as having a human at the controls and stuff, as we noticed or we found out with the landing of that lunar module that was sent up all remotely, but it wasn't quite level and it tipped over after it had landed, to where searching for a good landing spot and maybe being able to really get a good touchdown might be better if you have a human on board that can actually see what the ground looks like. It's interesting. It's not really funny, but because that was thousands, if not millions of dollars that didn't get their full use. It did let us put something on the moon, and it did send back some pictures, and it showed that a remote travel to the moon and to the surface of the moon is possible. But we still have some work to do, and I'm pretty sure those are the type of experiments that you have to do to get it right. And that's what we try and tell our young people as they work with robots, as they build, as they go into competitions, is that building a robot isn't just a one-shot and it works type of thing. No, we have to do tests and trials and see if it's really going to work. A lot of times they think, well, if you put it together or if I build it, it should just work. Well, no, you want to design it, you want to trial it, test it, and if it doesn't work, you want to go back to the drawing board. Remember, it's not that you get it done fast, it's that you get it done with quality and get it done that it's right. So we work with the kids to get them into that, and sometimes that's kind of hard for them after they put in some work that something doesn't work and they have to start all over again. But that's the process. That is the scientific process that you learn by experiments. That's why you have experimentation, is to prove something to be right or wrong, and that you learn from it. It's not a failure that just you can't recover from. No, it is a learning experience, and we have to learn that we learn through failures. If we don't fail, nothing would ever get better. You know, we have to work through failures in order to say, okay, I don't want to do that. I want to try and do something else. But if we never fail, nobody's going to get it right all the time. So if you never fail, probably means you weren't doing anything that could fail. It's just like we used to say on the job when we were installing and testing and bringing up expensive equipment. First time I had a big problem with one, A guy told me, he says, well, the only people that don't have trouble in this job are the people that don't do no work. If you do some work, you're going to have some troubles. You're going to break something one day. You're going to do something that's not right. But that's the way you learn. If you're not working, no, you're not going to make any mistakes. But if you're working, yeah, you're going to make some mistakes out there. I mean, things will get past you, things that you won't see or you can't find the trouble with. That's going to happen, but that's all part of the learning process. We did troubleshooting. And in troubleshooting, you just keep trying and trying until you find it, what fixes it. It doesn't get fixed the first time. You may try 2 or 3 things on a big switch that don't work, and then you'll find that one thing that works, and you learn from that. The next time you have a failure, say, in that area, you can fix it quick. The first time you have a failure in that area, it can take you a day, 2 days, 3 days to find it. But you learn by trial and error. And that's what we have to tell our young people and get them used to doing as they work in the field, as they learn about technology and engineering and stuff. There's going to be some mistakes made, but you want to find them early and recover from them. All right, so we're going to go into our next bit that's going in space, and that is space to ground. So let's see what they got about this eclipse. And if you saw the map that went by kind of quick on that one, it was parts of Arkansas and southern Missouri in there. Looked like Little Rock and them may be getting in on this eclipse this time. So let's check out what's going on with space to ground.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Chelsea Bayarte. The International Space Station welcomed 3 new residents this week, and thanks to the arrival of a cargo spacecraft, the astronauts are keeping very busy this week with their delivery of scientific experiments and supplies. On Saturday, March 23rd, NASA astronaut Tracy C. Dyson launched aboard the Soyuz MS-25 spacecraft from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, kicking off her journey to the International Space Station. She was joined by her crewmates, a Roscosmos cosmonaut, and a Belarus spaceflight participant. Her crewmates will be aboard the space station for just 12 days, but Tracy is scheduled to spend 6 months in space. The Soyuz spacecraft and its crew arrived at the space station 2 days after their launch, docking to the station's Prashal module just before lunchtime on March 25th.
And we are so grateful for everybody that has helped us get to this point, both through training and execution. And it's great to see all of you sitting there, and we look forward to executing this mission together. Thanks.
This is the 3rd space flight for Tracy Dyson. If you want to know more about Tracy, we sat down with her in a recent episode of our Astronaut Moments video series, where she talks about growing up with an electrician for a father and how that influenced her career as an astronaut.
Space to ground.
In addition to welcoming the Soyuz MS-25, the space station also saw the arrival of a Cargo Dragon spacecraft. The SpaceX freighter arrived the morning of Saturday, March 23rd, after a day and a half of transit time. It delivered more than 6,000 pounds of scientific experiments, food, and other supplies to the astronauts living on board. The spacecraft will stay docked to the space station for a little over 1 month. So, what do you do when a package gets delivered to your door? You have to unpack it and make room for all of your new stuff. And that's exactly what the astronauts have spent the past week doing. They've been unloading the cargo that they received, all while making time to participate in some scientific experiments. This week, NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara worked on an experiment called H-bond in the station's Life Science glove box. H-bond is an abbreviation with a big name. Are you ready for the whole thing? It's called Human Brain Organoid Models for Neurodegenerative Disease and Drug Discovery. It studies neuroinflammation, a common feature of neurological disorders. The study looks at cells from people who have Parkinson's disease and multiple sclerosis, and tests the effects of drugs to treat neuroinflammation. Results could improve the way that we diagnose diseases, further study the effects of aging, and help find treatment for patients suffering from these conditions. If you've always dreamed of going to space, now's your chance. NASA's hiring astronauts, and the application is now open. Head over to nasa.gov/astronauts to see if you qualify. That's all for Space to Ground. Thanks for watching.
All right. That was Space to Ground. Well, hey, there's some job applications out there. I hope you saw that at the end. You can contact NASA if you would like to be an astronaut. They're taking applications right now. So if you need a summer job or a little extra money in your pocket, no, I'm only kidding with that. But no, if you're interested, if you know a young person that maybe just wants to look at the qualifications that it takes, look at it and start working toward it while they're in high school or college, check out the job application to be an astronaut. It could be interesting, and one young person may decide, hey, I'm gonna work towards being one of those. So you can find that at nasa.gov and just look up, hey, are you hiring? And find out where that job application is and see if they're how they pay. All right. So that was a couple of them. We got to see Space to Ground. We got to see This Week at NASA. That's been great. Now, this is one where it talks about what's going on in the sky. It's What's Up from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory of NASA, that they look at the sky and what's up in the sky. So I'm hoping, and keep a sharp eye out for the map of the lunar eclipse. I'm pretty sure they got to talk about it, because you can't be talking about what's up and not talk about the lunar eclipse. All right, here we go with What's Up from NASA.
What's up for April? Some easy-to-spot planets. There's still time to observe Comet 12P. And how to enjoy this month's solar eclipse if you're not in the path of totality. For several days in the first half of April, early risers can watch Mars and Saturn rising together in the morning. Taking a look about half an hour before sunrise, you can find them low in the east, about 10 degrees above the horizon. They're at their closest on April 10th and 11th, but still really close in the sky the whole second week of April. Now on the evening of April 10th, you can find the Moon with Jupiter in the west. Jupiter's easy to identify as a bright, unflickering light low in the west following sunset all month. Being just a couple of days after its new moon phase, the moon shows only 7% of its illuminated surface on this evening, making for a beautiful crescent shining there with the giant planet Jupiter. This is also a good night to have a look for Comet 12P, Pons Brooks, which has been getting brighter and is easily observable with binoculars or a small telescope, especially if you can get away from bright city lights. The comet will be just beneath the moon and just right of Jupiter, but you'll have to be quick as it drops below 10 degrees elevation an hour after sunset and then sets an hour later. So you'll want a clear view toward the horizon and be looking for it as twilight ends. If you want to catch this comet, do it soon, because it will be too close to the sun in the sky to be observable after mid-April, and later, when it makes its closest approach to Earth, it will be on its way outward from the sun and growing fainter. There's a total solar eclipse on the way, and it's kind of a big deal. We've been really fortunate to have 2 total eclipses visible across a wide swath of the US recently, first in 2017 and now on April 8th, 2024. The next time such an eclipse will cross the states is 21 years from now. If you live in or near the path of totality, or you're traveling there to experience the eclipse, you're in for an incredible experience. But what if you're not going to be able to experience totality for this eclipse in person? What can you expect, and how can you still enjoy it? Well, for starters, NASA has you covered with a live webcast from multiple locations as the moon's shadow moves across the country. So join us for the total eclipse online, whatever your plans. If you're anywhere in the continental US outside of totality, you'll still experience a partial solar eclipse. The amount of the sun to be covered by the moon at maximum eclipse depends on how far you are from the path of totality. In observing a partial eclipse, you'll still need to use specialized eye protection such as eclipse glasses, a pinhole projector, or a telescope with a solar filter. One of the easiest methods is something most of us have in our kitchen, a regular colander. These make excellent pinhole cameras that project the eclipse onto the ground. And barring that, the sun dapples that filter through the tree leaves do something very similar. It's also fun to note the eerie way the sunlight dims during the eclipse, especially in places where the moon covers 80% or more of the sun's disk. NASA has a bunch of eclipse resources to help you get ready for this awe-inspiring celestial event. There's info on safe viewing, citizen science opportunities, and you'll even find our Eclipse Explorer, where you can find eclipse details for your specific zip code. From wherever you're observing, solar eclipses are remarkable events. So observe safely and join our live webcast, because it's an event you surely don't want to miss. Here are the phases of the moon for April. Stay up to date on NASA's missions exploring the solar system and beyond at science.nasa.gov. I'm Preston Dykes from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and that's what's up for this month.
All right. Okay. Now you see me, but I am not moving. What's up with that? Yeah, I tell you, from time to time we just have, excuse me, a little bit of that. But I am still here. Yeah, that's right. I can see you, or I can see me myself, and that I'm not moving. So let's see if we can get us back. All right, there we are. Yes. I'm back. I'm live and in living color. This is your host, Louis George Walker, and I am bringing you the BFTAA and More show as we continue to move on our way and as we continue to look at what's going on throughout the city and the world. So I told you about the election coming up in the Jackson County, which is the big election, the one that's making all the news. You get to vote on if you want or don't want to extend the 3/8 cent sales tax that the county collects that is given to the sports teams. It's split between the Chiefs and the Royals, and the money will be used to help the Royals move to a new stadium and the Chiefs to do some renovations at their stadium, and it's also going to be some upgrades done. If the Royals move, if it passes, that the Chiefs said they're going to do some work on the area where Kauffman Stadium sits now, that they're going to convert it into sort of I don't say a year-round, but an entertainment type area for concerts and the like. So there's a lot of work that's going to be going on, but there's people that are for it and people that are against it. And I'm definitely not going to be one to try and tell you to be for it or against it. One, because I don't live in Jackson County, and I think that's something that the Jackson County people should be making the decision on. We have our studio down here in Jackson County, and I spend a lot of time in Jackson County, and I do some of my sales tax money is definitely in Jackson County, so we do have a stake in it, but we're not residents, and I think that it would be only fair that people that actually live within the county are the ones that would be voting on it. And so I don't want to say yay or nay. Gather your information, get the knowledge that you need to try and make a wise decision, and then vote the way you feel is the right way to vote. And that's the way you should do with all elections. Up in Clay County, that if you live north of the river, in case anywhere north, well, not anywhere north, but right north of Jackson County is Clay County, and you also have Platte County, that part of Kansas City is in. And neither one of us will be voting on this Jackson County tax because it's not a city tax, it's the county's tax. So that won't show up on Platte County or Clay County's bill. And then people farther south, I believe Belton or just before Belton, just after Belton, you get into Bates County. So there's certain areas that are close by that definitely have a lot of Chiefs fans, but we won't get to vote on this. This is a Jackson County only process. But we hope that it turns out well, and somebody's going to be happy and somebody's not going to be happy at the end of the day. But that's the way it is with all the elections, that you have some good days, some good elections, and then some things you disagree with and say, how in the world could they have done that? You know, but that is part of our democratic system. And so far, it's one of the better systems around as you look at the way government is being run in most other countries. So democracy is not the best, but I would say it's one of the better ones that we have. Okay, now for Kansas City Chiefs fans, I was looking to see. It says Kansas City Chiefs player. Let me get this down so I'm not looking up. I can look more at you. Well, I thought I could. Let's see. See if I can get this view. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs player Rashee Rice reportedly sought after a multi-vehicle crash caused by speeding luxury car. This is from NBC News. NBC News. Kansas City Chiefs player Rashee Rice reportedly sought after this multi-vehicle crash caused by speeding luxury cars. Yeah, two drivers were speeding in a Corvette and a Lamborghini when the Lamborghini lost control and hit the center median wall, causing a chain reaction collision in Dallas. So that's one thing that you have to be on the lookout for. Racing, high speed is not good on a public street. Dallas police are reportedly looking to speak with Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice after two luxury cars were involved in a high-speed crash and the occupants of the vehicles walked away from the scene. Rice is cooperating with authorities and will take all necessary steps to address this situation responsibly. His attorney, Roy West, told ESPN in a statement. West is a Democrat state senator whose district includes part of the Dallas area. On behalf of Rashee Rice, his thoughts are with everyone impacted by the automobile accident on Saturday, West said in a statement. Officers were called to the North Central Expressway in Dallas at 6:25 on Saturday after two speeding drivers lost control and crashed, causing a chain reaction collision involving four other vehicles. Police told the Dallas News on Sunday that the drivers were in a Corvette and a Lamborghini, and the Lamborghini veered onto the shoulder and hit the expressway's median wall. The Morning News reported that one of the cars involved in the crash was leased or registered to Rice, and that a Dallas police call sheet seen by the newspaper lists Rice as the person who authorities believe was behind the wheel of the Corvette. Police have not identified any of the people involved in the crash. Occupants of the Lamborghini and the Corvette all ran from the scene without stopping to determine if anyone needed medical help or providing their information, police told the newspaper. No major injuries were reported, according to police, but two people were treated at the scene and two others were taken to a local hospital. Video posted by on social media by Kyla Wynn, who said she was in one of the cars that was hit, appears to show the damage to the driver's side of her vehicle. A Facebook post from someone who said she is Quinn's mother said Quinn's 4-year-old son was in the car. Video taken by a bystander and shared on social media by Quinn's mother shows several people walking away from the scene. The bystander asked them if they are all right and if they are just gonna leave it. Rice, who grew up in the Dallas area, was drafted by the Chiefs in the second round of the 2023 draft and as part of the team's Super Bowl win in February. Yes, he was. He logged 39 yards across 6 caught passes during the Super Bowl, an impressive achievement for a rookie receiver during a hard-fought championship game against San Francisco 49ers. The NFL right now has declined to comment on the crash. The Kansas City Chiefs have not responded to a request for comment from NBC News. In an interview with KCMO's Talk Radio's Mundo in the Morning, Chiefs President Mark Donovan said the team will react accordingly after all the facts are gathered on the crash. In all these situations, you have to wait until you have all the facts, and frankly, we don't have all the facts at this point, Donovan told Pete Mundo on Monday. The one comforting fact that we do have is that there was a multi-car crash in Texas, in Dallas, and fortunately, it doesn't appear that anyone was hurt, and we should be grateful for that. We'll get to the bottom of it, we'll gather the facts, and we will react accordingly. So, Rice could be in trouble with the league, with the police. It depends upon what they find out, what the causes are. They say he has a lawyer who is cooperating with the police. So we'll be finding out about this soon. I can thank God that no one was seriously hurt. They said no one was hurt, but a couple people did go to the hospital, and some were treated on the scene. So it may not have been some bad injury, but getting hurt is getting hurt. You don't want to be the one to get hurt if you weren't doing anything but going on the highway yourself. So our hearts and prayers go out to those that were involved in this. And we hope that Rashee Rice is okay, that all of this works out okay for him. I know the NFL wants everybody to be a upstanding citizen, that they don't like their players getting involved in things like this, as we in Kansas City know. When there was a violent act that caused the loss of one of our premier running backs a few years ago. So we hope that this all works out for Rashee Rice, and that it doesn't become something that just really spoils his career. Hopefully he can get past this, that he will learn something from this, and maybe be in a better place after this is all over with. Well, that's the news that we have. That's the information that we have. We are glad that you joined us right here at KUAW Radio, and that you were a part of the BFTAA and More show. Join us again next Monday from 5 to 5:45 for BFTAA and More. I am your host, Louis George Walker. I will see you next week.